RTM arrives in Laos to begin 2-day special visit. Malaysians in Russia ready to be brought back if needed. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Shuhaida Arifin and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Malaysia is determined to be well positioned to play its part in reducing emission while ensuring that it is ready for the growth of the low-carbon economy. For that, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said Malaysia has revised its nationally determined contribution NDC to reduce the intensity of greenhouse gas emissions by 45% by 2030 as part of the nation's responsibilities toward overall global climate targets. In his keynote address at Energy Asia 2023 today, the Prime Minister said to implement this policy successfully so as to reap the full benefits of the significant socio-economic advances for the nation, the government is further developing several strategic roadmaps.
Our paramount importance is the National Energy Transition Roadmap, which will outline the overarching strategy and high-impact initiatives to expedite the energy transition efforts. This roadmap will be complemented by the hydrogen economy and technology roadmap that will pave the way for the achievement of an environmentally sustainable long-term energy security in Malaysia driven by technological innovation.
These two roadmaps are targeted to be launched by the second half of this year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has arrived in Vientiane to begin 2-day official visit to Laos to further strengthen bilateral relations and economic cooperation with the ASEAN member state. Datuk Seri Anwar's maiden visit to the country is at the invitation of his Laos counterpart, Dr. Swansei Sifandon. The special aircraft carrying the Prime Minister and his wife, Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wad Ismail, landed at Duarte International Airport at 5:50 p.m. local time. He was greeted by Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zamri Abdul Kadir, Laos Head of Prime Minister's Office Alonsai Sonalat, and Laos Deputy Foreign Minister Posai Kekampitun. Datuk Seri Anwar is scheduled to hold an engagement session with the leaders of Muslim organisations in the country to discuss the issues of the Ummah at a hotel later tonight. Tomorrow, a bilateral meeting with Sifandon is scheduled at the Prime Minister's office, preceded by the official welcoming ceremony. Both leaders will then witness the signing of several Memorandum of Cooperations and Memorandum of Understandings. They will proceed with a joint press conference, followed by Datuk Seri Anwar's courtesy call on Laos President at the Presidential Palace. In the afternoon, the Prime Minister will hold a high tea event with the Malaysian diaspora at the Malaysian Embassy, where he will also be officiating the embassy building. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister's visit to Laos is expected to strengthen ties between Kuala Lumpur and Vientiane in light of the country's ASEAN chairmanship next year. Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zamri Abdul Kadir at the media conference ahead of the visit said Datuk Seri Anwar's visit to Laos, the first for any Malaysian leader since 2016, is important as Malaysia will be taking over the ASEAN chairmanship in 2025 after Laos.
Yang amat berhormat Perdana Menteri ke Laos ini akan memberi peluang kepada pemimpin kedua-dua negara membina momentum yang positif sebelum Laos mengambil alih kepengurusian ASEAN daripada Indonesia pada tahun hadapan.
This is Datuk Seri Anwar's seventh official visit to ASEAN member states after he was sworn in as the Prime Minister on 24th November last year. The total trade between Malaysia and Laos surged by 425% from $48.7 million in 2021 to $255.6 million in 2022, mainly contributed by the increase in demand for Malaysia's electronic products. Malaysia is Laos' fourth biggest foreign direct investment contributor last year after China, Thailand and Vietnam, mainly in the energy sector, free trade zone, automotive and banking sectors. The Federal Bureau of Investigation National Academy Associates FBINAA, which comprised 49 countries, needs to form a new set of laws to stamp out illegal activities. According to Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, illegal activities such as regional transnational terrorism and drug trafficking does not provide any room for complacency, and without proper cooperation, it will open more doors to such activities.
Malaysia has and is experiencing. We are facing the experience all these crimes. Being in the Southeast Asia enclave, we are vulnerable to these illegal activities over the years. In Malaysia, the growing seaborne transborder human trafficking problem has brought to the stark attention the problem of effective maritime governance and border control, presenting a serious challenge.
He said more cooperation among Southeast Asian enforcement forces, especially the police, maritime and intelligence, should be done to strengthen the mechanism of security at the borders. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said this at the opening of 23rd FBINAA Asia Pacific Chapter Conference today. The conference from 25th to 29th June is being attended by 160 delegates from Asia Pacific, including Malaysia, Vietnam, Australia, Thailand and South Korea. In another development, Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid said the government is ready to bring home 755 Malaysian citizens from Russia if their safety is compromised. He said the government is closely monitoring the development of detentions in Russia, particularly in Moscow.
Memberikan taklimat kepada Mahkamah Tinggi dan saya sendiri dan saksi yang lain kedudukan 725 warga Malaysia yang berada di Rusia, khususnya di Moscow. Tindakan keselamatan termasuk juga keadaan tidak dapat jamin keselamatan rakyat Malaysia di sana, usaha ke arah untuk membawa mereka pada mereka sedang diatur oleh pihak bergerak. Walaupun bagaimanapun kita akan terus memantau situasi di Rusia dan kita harap kedudukan keselamatan akan terjamin.
It was reported that Russia has declared an anti-terrorist operation regime in Moscow and the Moscow region on Saturday after the chief of the Wagner mercenary group led by Yevgeny Prigozhin, who was once a close ally to Russian President Vladimir Putin, vowed to overthrow Russia's military leadership. Next, special task force to solve driving test candidates backlog. A special task force has been set up to overcome the backlog of driving test candidates at driving institutes nationwide at the moment. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the backlog is due to the closure of driving institutes in the country following the COVID-19 pandemic. He said the task force is headed by Road Transport Department JPJ.
Jadi saya telah pun meminta pihak bahagian darat di bawah Kementerian Pengangkutan untuk melihat apa cara yang boleh kita percepatkan proses. Mungkin ada yang boleh dipermudahcarakan, kita mudahcarakan. dan supaya mereka dapat mengambil ujian dengan lebih cepat. Sebab sekarang queue untuk mengambil ujian itu kadang-kala berbulan-bulan untuk mendapatkan slot untuk mendapat ujian.
Earlier, the Minister opened the third annual general meeting of the Association of Driving Training Centres Operators in Malaysia. It is estimated 600,000 candidates recorded undergoing driving courses and tests at driving institutes annually. Logo also announced the government's initiative to assist driving institute operators to extend the age limit of vehicles used at institutes from 7 years to 10 years.
Kita mengambil satu perimbangan untuk membantu industri, pemain-pemain industri, kerana umum diketahui semasa COVID itu 2 tahun tak boleh buat apa-apa. Jadi kalau kita katakan kita rigid, kita tak tukar apa-apa peraturan itu, maka kebanyakan kenderaan yang sudah masuk tahun ke-7 itu tak boleh pakailah. Jadi sudah tentu ini akan menambah beban kepada pihak industri dan tidak adil.
To encourage driving institutes to invest in new vehicles, Lok said vehicle inspections are exempted for the first and second years, adding the following years up to the 10th year, the mandatory periodic inspection is once a year. Some 86.9% of the 8,860 respondents in a survey conducted by the Information Department are in favour of the Malaysia Madani concept. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fazil said the results of a survey conducted about 5 months ago also found that 68.1% of the respondents understood the concept.
Jadi ini adalah petanda yang positif. Yang mana di pihak kementerian kita ambil maklum dan berusaha untuk memastikan bahawa ia bukan seperti yang Muhammad Senator sebutkan tadi, sekadar retorik, tapi memang jelas daripada usaha dan ikhtiar kerajaan dari segi ekonomi, menjaga tata susila di kalangan masyarakat, keharmonian, perpaduan, keutuhan masyarakat itu sendiri dan diterjemah lebih daripada semata-mata sebagai slogan ataupun konsep. Jadi alhamdulillah pada waktu ini dari segi hasil ekonomi, pelaburan yang masuk dan sebagainya memang jelas ia mendatangkan hasil yang positif kepada rakyat, insya-Allah.
Fahmi said the results of the survey conducted on 28 January to 5 February this year, which is about a week after the concept was launched by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, showed that 79.9% of the respondents knew of the matter. The Minister was responding to a supplementary question from Senator Datuk Dr. Azhar Ahmad, who wanted to know the efforts made by the government to spread information and make the people understand the Malaysia Madani concept. He said the ministry would continue to carry out various programs to disseminate information to the public. To present a comprehensive and holistic plan in developing commercial activities at the national borders, it was proposed that a special committee comprising members of 4 ministries be set up. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Datuk Seri Salahuddin Ayub said, apart from KPDN, the other ministries are the Finance Ministry, Economy Ministry and Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry (MITI). The minister said he sees great economic potential at the Sabah and Sarawak borders, especially with Brunei and Indonesia, which is expected to produce worthwhile returns to the people and the country.
Dan kita kena bersedia khususnya apabila Nusantara dibangunkan dan Indonesia berlari pantas untuk menyuburkan ekonomi mereka dan kita di Sabah dan Sarawak tidak boleh ketinggalan. Maka KPDN mengambil satu tanggungjawab penuh usaha untuk bagaimana kawasan sepadan ini kita komersialkan dan situasi menang-menang, win-win ini harus kita dapat supaya barangan tempatan boleh dibeli tanpa subsidi dan ini akan memberikan pulangan yang besar kepada negara dan aktiviti penyeludupan itu dapat kita minimumkan.
As such, he hoped that the proposal for the setting up of the special committee to be tabled to the Cabinet would be able to develop economic development programs with a whole-of-nation approach to preserve the country's wealth. Alright, so that concludes Malaysia Tonight this time round. In our top story, PM arrives in Laos to begin 2 days special visit. Do tune in to updates at noon coming up tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. on TV2. We leave you with the visuals of the Al-Mashar Al-Mugaddasah Metro line, dedicated to moving pilgrims between holy sites during Hajj season. The railway ferries pilgrim to holy sites to perform various rites. Till then, I'm Shuhaida Arifin, Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan, penuhi harapan. Thank you for watching.